You open your mouth. You want to say focus. What comes out makes your coworker flinch like you threw something at them. Their eyes squint, their smile fades, and suddenly the room feels 5 degrees colder. Welcome to Monday English Podcast, the place where pronunciation fears come to party and then get dragged out by the collar. If you've ever said a totally normal word and somehow made it sound not safe for work, congratulations. You're one of us. No shame. Just the reality of learning a language where one wrong vowel can turn beach into something that gets you banned from a classroom. Today, we're going to talk about those pronunciation mistakes that don't just confuse people, they make them deeply uncomfortable. And no, this isn't about sounding like a native speaker. We're not applying for a job at the BBC. This is about being clear enough that people stop squinting when you talk. Because when they squint, they're not judging. They're translating in real time. And they're not always getting it right. We'll start with the vowel vortex, where sheet becomes shut and your hotel stay gets awkward. Then we'll visit the S that ghosted, because if you keep swallowing your ending sounds, your grammar dies on impact. And finally, we'll deal with stress and intonation, so you stop sounding like a GPS giving up on life. Look, maybe you think people still understand you. Sure, they probably do. The way we understand toddlers who point at stuff and yell. But if you want to be taken seriously, or at least not accidentally insult someone, you might want to fix your sounds. So yeah, your pronunciation isn't haunted, but it might be cursed. Let's start the exorcism. Welcome to segment 1. Let's talk about the kind of mistake that doesn't just confuse people. It terrifies them. You're at a hotel. You want an extra bed sheet. You smile, you speak, and suddenly the front desk guy looks like he's just been insulted. Because instead of sheet, you said something else. Something that rhymes with it but isn't allowed on polite TV. And now you're wondering why learning English suddenly feels like walking through a word minefield. This is the vowel vortex. And yes, it's real. It's not about long grammar rules or difficult slang. It's about tiny little sounds that can completely change what you say, like ship and sheep. Ship is short and quick. Sheep is long and strong. The first one takes you on a trip. The second one gives you warm socks. One is metal, one is fluffy. You get it? But your listener won't if you don't say the right sound. These are called vowel sounds. A vowel is a letter like A, E, I, O, or U. And in English, how you say the vowel changes everything. It's not just about the letters. It's about the sound your mouth makes. Long or short, open or closed, loud or soft. It matters. A lot. Let's take another fun pair. Beach and bitch. Beach is where you swim and relax. Bitch is, well, not that. And if your vowels are a little off, congratulations. You just asked your friend if they want to go to the insult. So yeah, this is serious. Not just for tests, for real life, for avoiding fights, for keeping friends. Now let's go deeper. Think of the words bad and bud. Bad uses the ah sound. You open your mouth wide, like in cat or man. Bud uses the sound. It's softer, more like cup or sun. So if you name your dog Buddy, but say it like Batty, your dog suddenly becomes a problem instead of a friend. And that's how pronunciation breaks relationships. Here's a new word for you. Mumble. To mumble means to speak too quietly or not clearly. For example, if you say sorry with your mouth half closed and no one understands you, you're mumbling. And when you mumble, your vowels get lazy. Lazy vowels are the reason your simple sentence becomes a guessing game. People don't want to play games when they talk. They want to understand you. Quickly, clearly, without thinking, did they just say something rude? Another word, panic. Panic means to feel sudden fear or stress, like when you realize you just said the wrong word in front of your boss. If you mumble or use the wrong vowel, other people panic too. Because now they don't know what you meant. They pause, they squint, they fake a smile, and then they slowly walk away, confused and afraid. Some learners say, "But they understood me anyway." Oh, really? They nodded. Sure. But were they smiling or just trying to escape? Let's be honest. People often pretend they understand because they don't want to correct you. That's not communication. That's survival. And you're not building real confidence that way. Here's the deal. English isn't asking for perfection. You don't need to sound like an actor, but you do need to be clear. Think of pronunciation like the road signs in a city. If the signs are wrong or broken, no one knows where to go. If your vowels are off, your words are road signs pointing to nowhere. It's not your accent. It's your aim. Another useful word, shadow. To shadow means to copy someone closely. In English practice, it means you repeat exactly what you hear. Like a shadow. If you hear someone say ship, you say ship. Not sheep, not sharp, just ship. And you say it again and again and again. Like you're annoying, like you're obsessed, because that's how you fix your sounds. Not by reading more, by speaking more, out loud, with your actual mouth. Last one, parrot. A parrot is a colorful bird that copies sounds. Be a parrot. Repeat what native speakers say exactly how they say it. Not in your accent, not your old lazy vowels. Their version. Even if you feel weird. Even if your voice sounds strange. That's called progress, and it's always uncomfortable first. So here's your tiny task. Pick 5 pairs of words that sound similar, like seat and sit. Say each one 10 times. Record yourself, then shadow someone saying them. Then do it again and again. You're not training for a grammar test. You're training to not accidentally insult someone. Next, we'll talk about something even sneakier. Ending sounds. You might think you're speaking clearly, but if your S and ed keep disappearing, your sentence might as well be wearing invisibility. Let's deal with that next. You speak a sentence. It feels fine. He walked to school. But something's off. Your teacher tilts their head. Your friend repeats it. He walks? Like you just broke English a little. And you sit there thinking, what? That's what I said. But no, it's not. You left the S somewhere back in grammar class, and now your sentence sounds like it never finished loading. This is the problem with ending sounds. English is a little sneaky. It likes to hide its grammar in the final letters. The bas, the ed, the t. Miss them, and suddenly your sentence is naked. No clothes, no context, no chance. People might understand you, sure, but they'll feel like they just walked into a sentence missing its shoes. And that's not how you want your English to show up. Let's try an example. You say, she cooked dinner. Okay, maybe you think you said cooks, but you didn't. You swallowed the S, you spit out cook, and ran. And now your listener is confused. Are you describing what she usually does? Or what she did yesterday? Or what she's doing right now? English uses ending sounds to mark time. And if you skip those endings, you're skipping time itself. Here's a new word, whisper. To whisper means to speak very quietly. Some of you are whispering your ending sounds. Walks becomes walk. Helps becomes help. That's not grammar. That's hiding. Your endings aren't decorations. They're signals. Without them, your listener has to guess. And guessing is not understanding. It's stress for both of you. Another important word, beat. A beat is a sound in music. English, like music, has rhythm. If you miss one beat, like a missing ed at the end of talked, the whole song feels off. Your sentence turns into noise. Not music, not message, just confusion. Now let's talk about why this keeps happening. First, maybe no one ever told you it matters. Or maybe you think, but native speakers drop their endings too. Ah yes, the classic excuse. Native speakers also speak fast, mumble, and break rules because they already know the rules. You're still learning them. If you copy their lazy style, you're not sounding fluent, you're sounding lost. And if you're telling yourself, I don't have time to fix this, then congrats. You've just used the most boring excuse in language learning. Again, let's make this visual. Imagine your sentence is a sandwich. The ending sound is the last piece of bread. Without it, it's just a mess in your hands. You can't hold it. It falls apart. You can't eat it. You're hungry and sad. That's what he walked to work sounds like. A sandwich with no bottom. It falls apart before it even gets to the table. Let's try another word, vanish. To vanish means to disappear suddenly. That's what your ending sounds are doing. They vanish. Like magic. Bad magic. You think they're there, but they're not. They're gone. And your grammar disappears with them. And your meaning? Gone too. Many learners don't realize that this problem makes their English sound much worse than it is. Your sentence structure might be great. Your vocabulary might be strong. But if your endings disappear, people think you don't know what you're doing. It's like building a house with no roof. It looks fine until it rains. Let's go back to rhythm. English has something called sentence stress. It means some words are louder or longer. Others are shorter and faster. But if you skip an ending, you break the rhythm. The sentence feels wrong. It's like a song where the last note never plays. People wait for it, and it never comes. It's awkward. You don't want your English to feel like that. Here's one more word, sharp. Sharp means very clear or quick. When you speak English with sharp endings, your words hit better. People hear you better. You sound more confident, even if you're not. Sharp speech is like sharp clothes. It doesn't make you smarter, but people treat you like you are. So what can you do? You practice. Not by reading, by saying, by hearing your own voice. Loud, clear, full endings. And if you feel silly, good. That means you're doing it right. Growth always feels weird. And if your endings don't feel weird, you're probably not saying them at all. Your tiny task? Pick 3 short sentences with thas or ed endings, like she walks fast or he helped me. Record yourself. Listen. Then say them again. Make the endings sharp. Make them real. And now, let's fix something else that's breaking your English without you even noticing. Your tone. If you sound like a broken robot, people won't hear your words. They'll just hear awkward. Let's fix that next. You asked a question. At least you thought it was a question, but nobody answered. They just looked at you, blinked, maybe smiled politely, maybe waited for you to continue. You stood there wondering what went wrong. You used the right words. You used the right grammar, but you didn't sound like you were asking anything. You just dropped the sentence like a rock and hoped it would bounce. It didn't. This is what happens when your stress and intonation go missing. You turn into a robot with a sore throat. Even if the words are correct, your voice gives the wrong message. English needs music. It needs feeling. Without that, your sentence is like dry bread. Technically food, but no one wants it. Let's talk about stress. In English, stress means one part of the word or sentence is stronger. It's louder, longer, or higher. Like in the word banana. We say banana. The second part is stronger. If you say banana or banana, people still understand, but they might think you're tired or angry, or that you don't care. That's not great for a conversation. Now, intonation. That's the music in your sentence. It's the way your voice goes up or down. When you ask a yes-no question, your voice should go up at the end, like, are you okay? If you say it flat, like, are you okay? You sound bored. Or worse, sarcastic. That's fine if you're a teenager in a movie. Not fine in real life when you're trying to get help at the pharmacy. Here's a new word, emotion. Emotion means feeling, like happy, sad, angry, scared. Your voice needs to show emotion, not just the words. If you say, "I'm so happy" with a dead voice, no one believes you. They think you're lying, or depressed, or both. People trust your tone more than your words. That's just how humans work. Another word for today, confuse. To confuse means to make someone unsure or lost. Example: if your tone is flat, your listener gets confused. They don't know if you're asking or telling. They don't know if you're serious or joking. They start guessing. And again, guessing is not understanding. Now let's be real. Some people say, "But my voice just sounds like that." No, your voice sounds like someone who's scared to be wrong. You're not monotone by nature. You're monotone by fear. You're protecting yourself by hiding all emotion. And in the process, you're hiding the message too. So congrats. Your fear just made your English more forgettable than elevator music. Let's fix it. Start by copying how native speakers talk in movies or shows. Pick a short scene, maybe 2 or 3 sentences. Listen to how they rise and fall, where they pause, how they sound when they're happy or sad. Then copy it. Not just the words, the voice too. You'll feel silly. Do it anyway. That silly feeling, that's your brain growing. Another word to learn. Actor. An actor is someone who plays a character in a movie or play. You need to be a small actor when you speak English. Not fake, just more expressive, more brave. Use your hands, move your face, let your voice play. If it sounds like too much, it's probably just right. Still unsure? Try this. Ask your friend 2 questions. First, say, "Do you want coffee?" in a flat, dead voice. Then say the same words, but let your voice rise at the end, like you really want to know. Record both. Listen. Which one sounds more like a real question? Exactly. Here's another new word. Message. A message is what you want to say or share. Without good stress and intonation, your message gets lost. Your sentence is a box, but your voice is the tape that holds it shut. If the tape is missing, the message falls out, and people are left holding an empty box. One last idea. Don't wait to feel confident before you change your voice. Just do it. The feeling will follow. Confidence comes after action, not before. You can't think your way into sounding better. You have to speak your way into it. Now here's your tiny task. Pick one sentence, just one. Say it like you're asking a question. Then say it like you're angry. Then like you're happy. Then like you're tired. Feel weird? Perfect. Let's take a short break now. And by break, I mean we're about to get honest. In the next part, I'll tell you why your voice isn't broken. It's just out of shape. And we'll talk about how to train it back into something that actually works. Let's go. Let me guess. You tried shadowing one time, hated how your voice sounded, and quit. You told yourself, "This isn't for me." And now it's been 6 months. Still no improvement, but hey, at least your pride is safe, right? Look, your mouth isn't broken. It's just lazy. And not lazy in a funny way. Lazy like a machine that hasn't been turned on since 2015. You think you're bad at English. You're not. You're just rusty. Nobody, and I mean nobody, likes how they sound at first. Even singers cringe when they hear themselves. Podcasters edit their voice like it's a horror film. You are not special for hating your voice. You are normal. And that voice you think sounds weak or fake, it's actually just unused. It needs reps. It needs time. You can't fix pronunciation by thinking about it. You fix it by saying stuff. Badly. Repeatedly. Loudly. That's how learning works. That's how speaking works. And let's kill this weird idea that fixing your pronunciation is somehow trying to be someone else. No. You're not pretending to be American or British or Canadian. You're trying to be understood. That's all. You don't need to sound like London. You just need to sound like a person who gives a damn. Because people don't care about your accent. They care if they can follow what you're saying. They care if the message is clear. You could have the strongest accent in the world, but if your words land, you win. Here's another truth you probably don't want to hear. You're not behind. You're just quiet. You're not too old. You're too scared. You're not lost. You're just hiding. You've been protecting your ego like it's made of glass. Congrats, it's safe, but your English is stuck in 2017. So let's do something real. Take a 5-second clip from any English video. Say it 10 times. Then whisper it. Then say it like it's a movie line and you're trying to win an award. Do that every day for a week. Your voice will still sound weird, but your confidence, it'll start showing up. Slowly, then loudly. Now let's stop crying in the voice memo app and start building a plan. A simple one. No magic. Just small, brutal steps. Let's fix this. One sound at a time. So let's be honest. Your pronunciation isn't just fine. It's probably confusing, soft, or full of ghost sounds no one asked for. But now you know why. You're not broken. You're just out of practice. And your listener isn't rude. They're just squinting because your mouth is throwing curveballs. You've learned the 3 big things that mess up your message. Vowels that betray you, ending sounds that vanish, and flat speech that makes you sound like a bored GPS. First, your vowels are tiny but deadly. Ship and sheep are not the same. Ask anyone who's tried to book a boat trip and ended up sounding like they insulted someone's mom. Second, if you skip the S or ed at the end of words, you're not saving time. You're killing grammar. He walked to school might feel short and sweet, but it makes people think you dropped out halfway through the sentence. And third, if your voice sounds like a robot that just woke up, people won't know if you're asking a question or reading the news. Your words need music. They need life. You don't need to fix everything today, but you do need to stop pretending it doesn't matter. Saying, I'm just shy is cute when you're 5. You're not 5. You're just lazy with your mouth. There, I said it. And yes, I still like you. That's why we're here. Your voice can be trained. It's not set in stone. You can build clear pronunciation the same way you build muscle. By showing up, doing the work, and not crying every time it feels awkward. Speak louder. Record more. Listen back even if it makes you cringe. And then do it again. Fix 1 sound a week. Shadow 1 sentence a day. Not because you have to, but because it actually works. Here's your action step. Choose 1 word you always mess up. Record yourself saying it 10 times. Then fix it. Just 1 word. That's how it starts. And hey, if this episode made you wince, laugh, or finally realize why your last voice message got no reply, do us a favor. Share it with someone who also says focus like they're starting a fight. Subscribe so you don't miss the next roast. And come back for more truth, more jokes, and more English that actually helps. This is the Monday English Podcast, where we don't chase perfection. We build confidence, 1 awkward sound at a time. See you in the next mess. You'll survive. Probably.